Welcome back to Mr. Stansfield's Education Videos. We are in part 2 of making selections and editing for our color pop. And so part 1, we made the selection and we modified the selection. Now I want to be clear about this, that you can make a selection a number of different ways and you can modify a selection many different ways. The tools that you have, all three of these tools up here, rectangle select, ellipsis select, lasso, polygonal, magnetic, magic wand, quick selection, and object select. All three of those things should work in conjunction with each other. So if you want to add to a selection, you want to subtract from a selection, you can use all, more than three, right? So it's 3, 6, 8, all 8 of those tools to do that. I showed you just a couple of them. And to keep this video short, I'm going to leave it there, but feel free to experiment with all of those tools. They're all going to work in different ways. After you make a selection, you can modify it by going up here to the select menu. So modify. You may want to smooth it, you may want to expand it, contract it, and feather it. So expand and contract, these are pretty self-explanatory, right? You can either grow the selection, it gets slightly bigger, contracting it makes it slightly smaller. Smoothing it, what smoothing will do, if we click right here on smooth, you can set the pixels, and what you can do is actually smooth out the selection, smooth out the edges. If you have any kind of random dots that are not selected in the middle of your selection, it will smooth it out by the number of pixels that you select here. So that's one of the ways that you can do that. The other thing, feathering, it will make a softer edge. So a lot of the times when we are doing a selection, a lot of times we want a really soft edge. In this particular case, I don't think we do, but you can change that. And then border is another kind of adjustment. Photopea will change, kind of modify the border of the selection. Now you can see, I just realized right down here, I missed it before. Let's go ahead and zoom in. Get our hand grabber and drag down here. I missed a little spot down here, and you can see it's probably fine if we don't include that, but let's go ahead. Let's just look at one of these other tools. Actually, I don't think any of these are going to work the way we want it to work. Let's go ahead and grab that polygonal lasso tool again. That worked pretty well. Remember to go up here to Unite, select anywhere inside the selection. Here's a nice straight line, and then complete the shape. All right, now we're back in business. Zoom out. All right, and I'm using shortcut keys to do that, right? View, zoom in, zoom out, fit to the area, and pixel to pixel. All of these shortcut keys are helpful. So once we have our selection, I'm not going to modify this selection at all because of the photo that I have. If you find that the edit that you're trying to do doesn't look right, try going back, stepping backwards, and adjusting the selection using the select menu, right? So try modifying it using one of these. Smooth out the selection, expand the selection, feather, whatever the case may be, play around with those things. And I could go into each of those individually, but trying to keep the video a little bit shorter. All right, so here we go. Once we have our selection, let's go ahead down here to the bottom of the layers palette. You can see this little half circle, black and white circle. It says new adjustment layer. And what we're going to do is we're going to make an adjustment in a layer. And color, you've got some options right here in the third, 1, 2, 3, the third kind of section: vibrance, hue saturation, color balance, black and white, photo filter, channel mixer, color lookup. All of these will affect the color. Let's go into vibrance. It's one we've used before. And let's go ahead and bring up the vibrance and bring up the saturation. Now, that makes that car much, much more red. Now, there's such thing as too much, right? If we bring this all the way up, it just goes completely red. There's no detail. Let's go ahead and reset it and see what it looks like. So you don't get that nice kind of reflection in the paint there. So, you know, be careful with it, right? Let's go ahead and bring that up, and then notice over here, this little black and white box over here. Let's go ahead and look at that black and white box. So you can see here that this is only affecting the white area of this black and white box. So in our layer mask, or raster mask as Photopea calls it, it's only affecting that area. So it makes that vibrance and saturation much, much, makes that red pop, I should say. This adjustment makes that red pop, but nothing else, right? What I want to do next is another adjustment to the rest of the photo, but the inverse. So I still have my selection here. I can go up here to select and then select inverse. That will select everything except the red. And then I'm going to go down here to the same thing. And I'm going to grab hue saturation this time instead of vibrance. And I'm going to bring the saturation down. Now watch when I bring that down to 0. What happens is everything goes black and white. Now for this project, I absolutely do not want you to do that, okay? The goal is to desaturate, bring the color down a little bit. And, you know, if you wanted to play around with the hue, you could, but obviously, you know, you get some weird stuff. You could play around with the lightness if you wanted to. Obviously, you get some weird stuff. I'm going to reset this, and I'm going to bring my saturation down, maybe like minus 30, somewhere around there. Looks kind of more natural, kind of more normal, okay? And I go like this, and I can see the effect of what I've just done. Now to finish this, I want to go ahead and select, deselect, get rid of my selection. You can see over here I've got a white mask with a black part, and then a black mask with a white part for these two things. The other, you know, and let's just look at this adjustment before and after. So we're talking about really subtle adjustments, right? Depending on the kinds of photos that you're using, you may or may not find it to be very subtle. In this particular case, we started with something that really didn't necessarily need to be edited, right? It has the color pop to begin with, and then we just sort of enhance that color pop a little bit by desaturating everything except the color and increasing the saturation of the color area, vibrance, hue saturation, etc. Now, how do you get a selection if you've already deselected? Well, here's a really easy way to do it. Okay, if you go ahead and look over here at our layer masks, you've got the same exact layer mask, but it's the opposite. If you hold the Control or Command key, right? If you're working on a Mac, it's Command. If you're working on a Chromebook or a PC, it's Control. If you hold that down and then click anywhere in this box, you can see that outline. It's a little easier to see down here. That selection outline is there again. So you can make a selection from a layer mask by Control or Command clicking on it, and then if you wanted to, you could do another adjustment, right? So you could go in here and play around with any of these adjustments really, right? And it will only affect that certain area. So that is how to make a selection, modify a selection, create a layer mask from a selection, create a selection from a layer mask, make an adjustment to one area of the photo using selections and layer masks, and making adjustments to everything except that part of the photo. In other words, everything else using selections and layer masks. Now you can use all this in conjunction with each other to really make your color pop photos pop. And that's the goal. Now, when you're done with any photo that has layers, you always want to save it as a PSD. So if you go over here, save as PSD, saving it as a PSD will keep those layers, and it'll allow you to make those selections really easily next time you're going to edit it. If you export it as a JPEG, you'll lose your layers. So I always recommend save as a PSD first, then export as a JPEG second, right? Because you can't see a PSD on most devices. You need to have a special program like Photopea or Photoshop. But JPEGs are universal. You can look at it on any device. So save as a PSD first, then save as a JPEG. All right. That is going to do it for this. Again, I could go into each one of those selections. I could go into each one of the edit selections, but just to try to keep it short, I know this wasn't the shortest video. I'm going to stop there. Thanks for watching.